What Star Wars game should we be expecting in the coming years? Right after this. Although we know practically nothing about the Star Wars game Visceral Games has been working on, we do know it's in development, and chances are it is the next in line after the release of Star Wars Battlefront. We'd be inclined to say the game is tapped for a 2016 release, but since nothing has been shown, I mean it's hard to imagine the game being ready in time. However, even though we know very little, Visceral Project is already generating a ton of buzz because of its staff. With Uncharted creative director Amy Hennig on board as director, Visceral's untitled Star Wars game should weave a compelling story mixed with incredible action set pieces. Basically, we wouldn't be surprised to see something like Star Wars 1313 from the developer, as that game was basically Star Wars Uncharted. At the same time, it's worth looking at the 2016 Star Wars film release, Star Wars Rogue One, as another possible branching point. Fans have been clamoring for years for a new Star Wars Rogue Squadron and TIE Fighter, to the point it almost seems like EA has to acquiesce. Could that be what Visceral is working on? Possibly. It would be interesting to see how a writer as talented as Hennig take to the idea of a rebel pilot, or maybe even a TIE Fighter pilot, who knows. But that's mostly wishful thinking. Visceral's project is arguably the most uncertain of the bunch, but there's no question it has the strongest talent behind it. All the fans want to hear from BioWare, honestly, is Knights of the Old Republic 3, but as the developer has said previously, the Old Republic was intended to fill that void and essentially act as KOTOR 3 through 9. Still, most would argue that the Old Republic was a far cry from Knights of the Old Republic, and they still want to see KOTOR 3. And if Electronic Arts were smart, they'd try their best to push BioWare in that direction. Even if they don't deliver Knights of the Old Republic 3, though BioWare is definitely working on something for Star Wars. Out of the three major Electronic Arts publishers, they are one of the most prior connection to Star Wars. But because they're jam-packed with current project, Mass Effect 4, this one is probably the furthest off. Still, with BioWare working behind the scenes, there is no way Star Wars fans can at least keep a casual eye on the developer. But seriously, BioWare, make Knights of the Old Republic 3. I'm done. Now, believe it or not, all of this seems to be just the tip of the iceberg. Electronic Arts was a little overly ambitious when they first acquired the Star Wars license, announcing developers and projects that were barely off the ground, but now they have had time to get everything situated. So chances are there are more than just these 3 games in development, but right now EA wants to keep the focus on the known quantities. We also know that Disney retained the rights to develop certain Star Wars games, including those for mobile platforms. We doubt they release anything to compete with EA's products, but more family-friendly far seems pretty likely. In other words, there's a lot to look forward to on the Star Wars video game horizons. Some more tangible stuff is coming soon, while other more mysterious projects are likely planning out their marketing schedules. Perhaps at Electronic Arts E3 2016 press conference we will hear more about those Star Wars games. What upcoming Star Wars game are you most excited for? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe for more. Your bro BessY is signing out.